Shorelines of Hope. Two women, each running from shadows in their pasts, find themselves drawn to the same quiet town. Mara Ellis had once lived a life she thought was unbreakable, but a single event had shattered her world. Now, she lives alone in a cabin on the shores of Silver Lake, far from the people she once knew. Isolated by her own choice, Mara avoids the world, keeping her pain and guilt locked away. She rarely speaks to anyone besides Claire, the elderly woman who owns the local store. Meanwhile, Jenna Alvarez arrives at Silver Lake with her two young daughters and her teenage son. They come with only a few belongings, fleeing a troubled past of their own. Jenna longs for a fresh start for herself and her children, a chance to build something stable and secure. When Jenna takes a job at the local store, she and Mara cross paths. Mara's quiet, solitary life is interrupted, and Jenna's dreams of peace begin to take on new meaning. An unspoken understanding grows between them, an awareness that each has faced difficult times and come out stronger. One day, Jenna and her children are in the store talking with Claire when Mara arrives. The sound of the bell startles Jenna, and Claire offers the children a place to sit and do their homework in the back while their mother talks. Jenna looks around the shop nervously before smiling at Mara. "Hi, I'm Jenna. These are my kids, Sophia, Lily, and Diego," she says, introducing each one. Mara gives a small nod but keeps her distance. Jenna extends her hand hesitantly, hoping to bridge the gap, and Mara hesitates before giving her hand a brief shake. The touch is brief, but it's enough to spark something unexpected within her, a feeling she hasn't felt in years. One of the children, Lily, looks up at Mara curiously. "I like your hat," she says with a grin, breaking the silence. Mara manages a faint smile, nodding in thanks. Jenna quickly hushes her daughter, sensing Mara's discomfort. "Sorry, they're just curious," she says apologetically. Mara waves it off. "It's all right," she mutters, her gaze softening as she looks at the children. She recognizes the protective way Jenna watches over them, something that speaks to her own past. As the weeks pass, Jenna and Mara find themselves running into each other more often, sharing small conversations that grow deeper over time. In Jenna's company, Mara starts to feel a warmth she thought she'd lost forever, and Jenna finds a sense of understanding and safety she hadn't expected. Their bond grows slowly, not needing words to convey the connection they feel. In each other, they find an anchor, two souls bound by the need for healing and hope. In the quiet town by Silver Lake, they begin to build something neither thought they'd find, the chance to belong. As autumn settles over Silver Lake, Mara and Jenna's lives intertwine in ways both expected and surprising. Mara begins to spend more time at the store under the pretense of helping Claire with small tasks. At first, she stays on the outskirts, engaging in brief chats with Jenna before retreating to her cabin. But slowly, she starts offering Jenna small acts of kindness, fixing the store's creaky back door, leaving fresh-picked apples on the counter, and even bringing homemade soup when she notices Jenna looking tired. Jenna, in turn, encourages her children to include Mara, inviting her to small family activities. They have quiet dinners on Jenna's small porch, and sometimes, when the lake is still and clear, Mara finds herself joining the family on evening walks by the shore. She tries to remain guarded, but Jenna's kindness and the children's innocent questions soften her defenses little by little. One cool evening, Jenna's son, Diego, finds an old fishing rod in the garage and excitedly asks Mara to teach him to fish. Jenna is hesitant, worried about asking too much from her quiet neighbor, but Diego's enthusiasm is infectious. Mara reluctantly agrees, her gruff exterior masking a tiny thrill at being asked to share something she once loved. The next morning, Diego and Lily eagerly wait for Mara by the lake. She shows them how to bait a hook, her scarred hands moving carefully, and explains the patience needed to fish. As the morning mist drifts off the water, Jenna watches from the shore, smiling as Mara speaks to her children with a gentle patience she hadn't expected. It's in these small, quiet moments that Jenna realizes how much Mara has come to mean to her. One evening, as Jenna helps Claire close up the store, she broaches the subject that's been weighing on her. "You've known Mara a long time, haven't you?" she asks, trying to sound casual. Claire nods thoughtfully. Long enough. She's a good soul, even if she tries to hide it. She's had her heart broken by life more than once, though. Just takes her time to warm up to folks. Jenna hesitates, sensing there's more to Mara's story than Claire lets on. But she doesn't press. Over the weeks, she's seen flashes of Mara's pain in her haunted gaze and in the way she sometimes retreats mid-conversation, lost in memories she doesn't share. Jenna understands all too well the weight of carrying a past that's too painful to speak of. One rainy evening, as Jenna's children doze by the fire, Jenna finds herself lingering on the edge of Mara's porch, an umbrella in hand. She's tempted to knock but hesitates, her courage faltering. But then the door opens, and there stands Mara, looking almost surprised to see her. Jenna's heart races, wondering if she's overstepped, but Mara steps aside, silently inviting her in. They sit in comfortable silence by the fire, listening to the rain patter on the roof. Jenna eventually speaks, her voice soft. I used to think I'd never feel safe again. That my past would always catch up to me. She pauses, glancing at Mara. But here, with you, I feel like maybe I can start over. Mara looks away, wrestling with her own emotions. You and the kids, you remind me of what I lost. Sometimes it hurts to see it, but other times, she swallows, choosing her words carefully. Other times, it reminds me of the good things that are still out there. Jenna's eyes soften. She reaches out, her hand finding Mara's scarred fingers and squeezing gently. Maybe we can both find a way forward, she whispers. The next few weeks bring a quiet but undeniable change. Mara opens up about fragments of her past, a lost love, a time when she was whole and unscarred. Jenna listens without judgment, offering only understanding. In return, she shares pieces of her own story, her fears, and her hopes for her children. Their connection deepens, becoming something neither woman had dared to dream of. One late winter evening, a snowstorm traps Jenna and her children at Mara's cabin. They huddle by the fire, sharing stories and laughter, finding warmth in each other's company. As Jenna tucks her children into makeshift beds on the floor, she meets Mara's gaze, a silent acknowledgement passing between them. They sit together by the fire, watching the flames flicker. Mara breaks the silence, her voice a whisper. I didn't think I'd ever feel like this again. Jenna takes her hand, their fingers intertwining. Me neither, she replies, her voice equally soft. But maybe this is what we were both meant to find. And in the warmth of the fire, with snow piling up outside, they both feel, for the first time in years, the hope of a new beginning. As winter melts into spring, Mara and Jenna's bond deepens, their lives becoming ever more entwined. Mara, who had once been a ghost by the lake, now finds herself part of Jenna's family routine. The children adore her, Diego often bragging about their fishing trips, while Lily and Nora frequently drop by Mara's cabin with small gifts, wildflowers, pebbles from the lakeshore, or drawings they've made. It brings color and life to Mara's otherwise quiet existence, and she finds herself feeling a joy she thought had long since faded. One bright morning, Mara helps Jenna plant a vegetable garden in the patch of land behind Jenna's small house. It's a humble start, a few rows of tomatoes, carrots, and herbs, but to Jenna, it feels like a symbol of roots finally taking hold. They work side by side in the dirt, sharing laughter and dreams for the future. Between planting rows, Jenna glances at Mara, wiping soil from her cheek. You know, I haven't felt this at home anywhere in a long time, she says softly. Mara's face softens, and she looks at Jenna with a quiet intensity. Maybe it's time you had a home that feels like yours, she replies. One where you don't have to keep looking over your shoulder. Jenna nods, her smile tinged with both hope and a hint of sadness. She hasn't shared much of her past with Mara, not the details, at least. And although Mara has shared glimpses of her own history, they both sense that there's pain lurking beneath the surface, wounds too deep to heal overnight. Still, they take comfort in each other's company, creating a sense of safety that has been elusive for so long. But peace doesn't come without challenges. One day, a man Jenna recognizes from her past arrives in town. He's a reminder of the life she left behind, a shadow that threatens to pull her back into darkness. She spots him from a distance while shopping at the town's general store, his face unmistakable despite the years that have passed. Fear grips her heart, and she quickly hides, hoping he hasn't seen her. She returns home shaken, and that night, Mara notices the tension in her demeanor. Jenna tries to brush it off, but Mara sees right through her facade. "What's going on?" Mara asks gently as they sit on Jenna's porch, watching the sun dip behind the trees. Jenna hesitates, then finally opens up. "Someone from before. He's here, and I'm afraid he might be looking for us." Mara's expression turns serious, her protective instincts kicking in. "Do you want me to talk to him?" Jenna shakes her head. "No. I don't want any trouble. I'm scared he'll try to take me back. Or worse, try to take the kids." Mara places a hand on Jenna's shoulder, her touch grounding. "You're not alone in this. We'll figure it out together. I won't let anything happen to you or the kids." Over the next few days, Mara keeps a careful eye out for any sign of Jenna's past catching up to them. She enlists Claire's help to subtly watch for anyone asking too many questions. The tight-knit community around Silver Lake rallies around Jenna, quietly and without fuss, letting her know she has a safety net if she needs it. One evening, as Mara returns from a scouting walk around the lake, she finds Jenna waiting anxiously on her porch. They sit together, Jenna leaning into Mara's quiet strength. The fear that once defined Jenna's life feels less suffocating now, thanks to Mara and the friends she's found in this small town. For the first time, Jenna feels like she has people who would fight to keep her safe. "Thank you," Jenna whispers, her voice choked with emotion. "I don't know what I would have done without you." Mara's face softens, and she wraps an arm around Jenna. "You're not going to find out," she murmurs. "This is your home now, and no one's taking it from you." Their moment is interrupted by the sound of Diego's voice calling from the doorway, "Mom. Can Mara stay for dinner?" They exchange a smile, the heavy moment passing, replaced by a warmth that fills both their hearts. As summer unfolds, the man from Jenna's past is seen around town a few times but never seems to approach. It's unclear if he's found her or if he's just passing through, but with each passing day, the fear fades. The town keeps a protective watch, and with every warm meal, every shared laugh, and every quiet moment by the lake, Jenna's sense of security grows. One balmy evening, Mara and Jenna sit by the lake's edge, watching the fireflies dance over the water. The children play nearby, their laughter echoing through the trees. In the soft glow of twilight, Mara reaches for Jenna's hand, intertwining their fingers. It feels natural, like an unspoken promise. Jenna looks at her, a grateful smile on her lips. "For the first time in a long time, I feel free." Mara nods, squeezing her hand. "And that's how it should be." In the days and weeks that follow, their lives settle into a rhythm. They cook meals together, plant more in the garden, and make plans for the future. They've both been shaped by past traumas, but in each other, they've found a way to heal, to love, and to hope again. Jenna's children grow up in this peaceful town, surrounded by people who care for them. Mara becomes a fixture in their lives, a steady presence who teaches them strength and resilience. And as the years pass, Jenna and Mara's bond only deepens, blossoming into a love that transcends the scars of their past. Together, they build a life filled with quiet joy, rooted in the simple pleasures of the lake and the forest, the laughter of children, and the knowledge that they are finally, truly home.